Welcome back to National Report. House Republicans are proposing legislation aimed at protecting what you see on your screen, Mount Rushmore, from being renamed or even taken down. It comes as the historic landmark faces criticism by activists who say it disrespects Native Americans. We've heard criticism also from ice cream company Ben and Jerry's. You might have seen this 4th of July tweet, again sent out on Independence Day, writing, "It's high time we recognize that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land and commit to returning it."
We're joined now by Republican South Dakota Congressman Dusty Johnson. Thank you so much for being here. These historic monuments all over the country under attack, facing the possibility of being taken down. What are you doing to protect Mount Rushmore?
Well, first off, I'm not going to take my public policy marching orders from an overpriced manufacturer of ice cream, and I'm sure most of your viewers agree with that. Ben & Jerry's is all wet on this, and the reality is we do have these monuments at risk. We've seen statues of Thomas Jefferson, George Washington ripped down. We've seen in New York a statue of Teddy Roosevelt taken away from the Museum of Natural History. These are real threats. And I just got to tell you, the people of South Dakota, that's my state, are not going to stand for it related to Mount Rushmore. The 4 men on that monument are not perfect, but they represent the best of America, and my bill would make it clear that not one dime of taxpayer dollars will ever be used to change those faces on Mount Rushmore.
To your point, Congressman, we are showing a tweet of the governor of South Dakota, Kristi Noem, saying not on her watch will there be a change to Mount Rushmore. But I'm curious, we hear certain calls from what appear to be these really left-leaning organizations, and in particular this ice cream shop, which has been known for getting involved in sort of left-wing political ideology. I know as a Republican you're bringing forth this bill to protect Mount Rushmore. Are there any of your Democratic colleagues who are in agreement with you saying that this monument should be saved?
I think that was one of the best pieces of news to come out of the committee hearing yesterday. My bill actually got a committee hearing. That would not have happened in the Nancy Pelosi House, but the new sheriff in town, Kevin McCarthy, is making a lot of these common sense pieces of legislation come to the front. And there were certainly some comments by my Democratic colleagues that were a little bit more of the woke variety. But in the end, every one of them acknowledged that this bill was the kind of thing that they could support. I think we're going to have a really strong bipartisan vote coming out of committee.
Great point. A Vermont Native American chief is speaking out against Ben & Jerry's, saying that the headquarters is on stolen Native American land. Is Ben & Jerry's being hypocritical here? This is incredible.
Oh, this is situation normal. Ben & Jerry's is only hypocritical every single day. And I'm glad that there are strong leaders from Native American tribes who are willing to call out that kind of hypocrisy. And I work with Native American tribes every single day. It's literally true for my team and I. We've got 9 tribes in South Dakota. Of course, we need to remember the imperfect history of this country. Of course, to the extent we can, we should right wrongs and make amends. But most importantly, I think we want to look toward the future. I think we want to make sure that every American, regardless of the shade of their skin color, has access to good education, good health care, economic opportunities. Gosh darn it, I wish Ben & Jerry's would focus on that more than trying to relitigate the past.
I'm sure there's some good South Dakota ice cream spots that don't get so political when they're scooping up the flavors. Sir, we appreciate you coming on, and we'll be interested in following this bill. That is South Dakota Congressman Dusty Johnson. Thanks so much.